Welcome, ladies and gentlemen, to the best sports show out, Highly Opinionated, episode 41. I'm your co-host, Josh, the best co-host in the game. What's up, JG?
Josh, Ross, what's going on with y'all, man? How was y'all weekend?
It was good, man. How was yours?
Can't complain, bro. It was definitely awesome.
That's good, man. Glad you had a good weekend. Glad you had some time out in the sun. Get some vitamin C on you, vitamin D on your body, getting your mind right, man. So that's a perfect way to have it in the week. Highly Opinionated is the perfect way to start the week, bro. So we appreciate you for being here and doing everything that you're doing. Shout out to the Club JG podcast, bro. Guys, you're killing it over there, bro. Keep doing your work, man.
Appreciate that.
Ladies and gentlemen, the best producer, the best editor, the best guy here on Highly Opinionated. Bottom of your screen. Ross, what's up, brother? How are you?
I'm good. How you feeling, Josh?
Good, man. I can't complain. Everything good with you?
Yeah, no, I can't complain at all. Yeah, I'm good. I'm definitely ready to get to the show. We got a real special guest, so I'm excited to experience that as well, and for all the viewers to get to experience that. So,
absolutely. All I can say is we got an OG on the show today. I think all the OGs that watch Highly Opinionated will be very, very happy about who we have as a guest on episode 41. Ladies and gentlemen, I want to thank you for watching episode 40. Tuned in to last week's show of Highly Opinionated. Thank you for tuning into this week's show. Again, we aim to be the best sports content along with the Club JG podcast. Shout out to my brother once again. We aim to be the best sports content that you watch. We try to be real. We try to be honest. We try to be upfront. We're not going to lie to you. We're not going to fake it with you. We're not going to do none of that. So we appreciate all you guys for the love and support. You guys are the best. You guys are what make the Club JG podcast and Highly Opinionated what it is. So again, from all of us here, thank you guys. Keep the comments going, keep the engagements going, and hopefully very, very soon we can have you on the show if and whenever you're ready to come on. Ross, let them know where they can follow us at on our social media.
yes, sir. Y'all can follow us on Instagram at highly opinionated __. Follow us on TikTok at highly opinionated _SS. And follow us on Twitter or X at highly_SS. And of course, y'all already on YouTube, so make sure you like, subscribe, leave a comment, and we'll be sure to comment back.
Absolutely. My brother JG, you ready to get episode 41 started?
Yes, sir. Let's get it.
Let's get it. Start off with some NFL news like we always do. So, the Baltimore Ravens have their starting quarterback. His name is Lamar Jackson. The Cincinnati Bengals have their starting quarterback. His name is Joe Burrow. The Cleveland Browns starting quarterback, we don't know. It's a four-man race. Kenny Pickett, Joe Flacco, Dylan Gabriel, or Shedeur Sanders. The only team in that division that did not have a starting quarterback or someone that we believe that was not a starting quarterback was the Pittsburgh Steelers. Well, that journey is over. Pittsburgh Steelers have signed Aaron Rodgers to a one-year deal. He will be the starting quarterback for the Pittsburgh Steelers. We obviously knew and assumed that this was going to happen. I mean, Pittsburgh was really going to be left at the altar if they didn't get Aaron Rodgers. It was going to be Aaron Rodgers or Kirk Cousins. Or I remember you laughed at me when I said it could be Kenny Pickett. You laughed at that. But if Aaron Rodgers and Kirk Cousins couldn't have been there, they was going to have to bring somebody in. So now that they have Aaron Rodgers in, your thoughts on that, and after your thoughts, I have one question. If you had to pick, are the Steelers with Aaron Rodgers, are they closer to winning the playoff game or closer to missing the playoffs?
They're closer to missing the playoffs, in my opinion. Aaron Rodgers is a legendary quarterback. He's a no doubt first ballot Hall of Famer. One of the greatest quarterbacks from a talent perspective we've ever seen. The key word was. We have not seen Aaron Rodgers be a force multiplier and one of the best quarterbacks in the game since 2021. So we're talking about 4 years removed, and now a guy that is now 2 years removed from an Achilles injury. You're asking him to help the Pittsburgh Steelers, who have their own deficiencies outside of quarterback, to will them to a playoff victory in the AFC. Forget the AFC. How about your own division? You have to deal with Lamar Jackson and the Baltimore Ravens. You have to deal with Joe Burrow and the Cincinnati Bengals. Who knows what we'll get from Cleveland? Because Cleveland every now and then can sneak a playoff. We saw it last year with Jameis Winston beat the Pittsburgh Steelers at home. So it is not unheard of that the Browns could also beat the Steelers, at least 1 out of 2. So you're talking about all that in your division alone. Now we get to the AFC. Josh Allen, Patrick Mahomes. are we sure that Aaron Rodgers can really move the needle there? Yes, he is better than Mason Rudolph and Skylar Thompson and Will Howard at this point in time. Is that really that high of a bar to climb? Is it really that hard to clear that bar? I'm not saying that Aaron Rodgers won't be terrible. It's like, because honestly, when you look at the stats from last year, he was actually very good from a statistical standpoint, but he's not mobile anymore. The offensive line in Pittsburgh is young and average at best. So if they can't protect him, he's not going to be very effective. This is not Aaron Rodgers from Green Bay where he was moving around, scrambling, doing pirouettes and throwing and heaving the ball 60 yards downfield with a flick of his wrist. He can still throw that ball deep, but I question Pittsburgh's offensive line. I question Pittsburgh's running game now that Najee Harris is gone. You have one guy on the perimeter that is a threat, and that's DK Metcalf. And you have Freiermuth at tight end. We're not sure about the other weapons on the perimeter for the Pittsburgh Steelers. You have an aging defense. So there are other questions that we have with the Steelers outside of just the quarterback. Yes, they addressed a dire need that they needed because they weren't – the day we saw that interview with Mike Tomlin talking about Mason Rudolph when he first came back here, we saw the man literally sweating as he was answering that question. We saw him like in the cartoons when the guy gets cornered and he has to answer a question that he knows is bullshit, and he's literally sweating from his eyeballs when he got asked about Mason Rudolph. So there was a rookie that came out and said that Mason Rudolph was going to be elite.
Not a rookie. That was actually Roman Wilson, the wide receiver from the Pittsburgh Steelers. Yeah.
I apologize. Roman Wilson, who, hey, look, had his quarterbacks back, but come on. Nobody believed that Mason Rudolph was the answer. Yes, Aaron Rodgers is an upgrade, but talking to some of my friends who are Pittsburgh Steelers fans, they're not happy right now. So that's what I got.
So I'll start off with what the Steelers depth chart looks like. By the way, you are right. Roman Wilson was a rookie last year, so I'll give you that. But I'm speaking of now. Technically, he's not a rookie. So they have Jalen Warren. I like him. He was splitting time with Najee Harris. He's a running back. I like him. They have trade for DK Metcalf. They have Pat Freiermuth. I like. I expect them to go out and get another receiver. However, they have Robert Woods, who's still solid. They have Calvin Austin III, who's okay. He can develop better, but he's okay. So I expect the Steelers to go out and sign another receiver, or maybe even two receivers, or trade for a receiver. They were in the market for a receiver. Gabe Davis is a free agent. He just visited Pittsburgh last week. So they'll obviously be in the market for a receiver. With Aaron Rodgers, we all knew that this was going to happen. We're not surprised that it happened. I would say they would be closer to winning the playoff game than missing the playoffs. And the only reason why I say that, let me just say this now. I learned last year, I picked the Jets to go to the Super Bowl because of this man. So I am not picking the Steelers to go to the Super Bowl at all. But do I think they could win a playoff game if things went right? Absolutely. That's best case scenario. Worst case scenario, they'll lose in the first round. I just look at it like Mike Tomlin has made the playoffs with worse or bad quarterbacks. Regardless of what we think of Aaron Rodgers, he's still better than what some of the quarterbacks that Mike Tomlin has made the playoffs with. You still got a good to great defense. That defense got their heart taken in that AFC wildcard game last year at Baltimore. So I think the defense will come out, especially the first couple of weeks, and letting it be known, like, no, we not no pushovers. We got heart. We gonna fight, and we're gonna show the Steeler pride, Steeler way. So I think this team could make the playoffs, being a defensive team, playing good defense, running the ball. Aaron Rodgers make timely throws. I think that could get them into the playoffs. Do I think they're going to make the playoffs? Probably not. But I'm saying best case scenario, yeah, I think they could win a playoff game.
Ask you a question.
Yes.
Yes, Mike Tomlin has continued to somehow will this football team to the playoffs, even when they probably shouldn't have made it. If they do the exact same thing with Aaron Rodgers, let's say they go 9-8, maybe a team gives them a win at the end of the year because they're resting their starters, and they don't win. When is enough going to be enough with not just Aaron Rodgers but Mike Tomlin? Do you think that we could possibly see the end of Mike Tomlin in Pittsburgh if we see the exact same thing happen again, but this time with Aaron Rodgers?
That's a good question. I don't think the Steelers will get rid of Mike Tomlin on their own. I think he would have to go to them and say, I want to go to this destination. They would probably trade him away. Because the Steelers looking at it like you're still a top 5 coach. We're not going to just give up on you because you had one losing season. That's stupid. Sure. That's why the Steelers are a foundational organization in the NFL. They're not going to think about it like this. The Steelers have had 3 coaches in the last 50 years. The Jets had 3 coaches last season. So my point is that at the end of the day, they're a cornerstone foundational piece of the NFL. They're going to ride with you. Kind of like in the NBA, what you're saying with Oklahoma City and Indiana, Rick Carlisle and Mark Dagnall, they're riding with those coaches through ups and downs. So my point is that no, I don't think I think if Mike Tomlin wanted to leave, he would leave. I don't think the Steelers are going to be like, sir, you need to go because you're not doing this. I don't think that.
Yeah, and that's what I mean. But I'm not saying that. In no way am I saying Mike Tomlin is not an elite coach that can coach another team to a Super Bowl. I just think that Ryan Clark said this a lot on ESPN. Maybe his voice has ran stale with that organization, and it might be time for a change for him. We just saw Andy Reid go from Philadelphia to Kansas City, and we know what they look like right now. So it's not out of the question that Mike Tomlin could go to another team and just continue to have great success. And with the fan base that I think he deserves, that would actually appreciate him, because I don't think Pittsburgh Steelers fans really appreciate him. I said this on Club JG. I thought Mike Tomlin should have axed out months ago. I thought he should have said enough is enough. This fan base doesn't appreciate what I've been able to do with this average offense, dealing with the likes of Kenny Pickett, Duck Hodges, and aged out Russell Wilson, and a Justin Fields that hasn't found his confidence yet. That's literally the last 3 or 4 years. So why does he continue to subject himself to all this criticism with Steelers fans? Because there's a standard here. We won 6 championships. Do you not understand who's playing quarterback for you since Ben Roethlisberger? Trash. Or subpar at best. And this man has somehow dragged this team to making a playoff appearance. When most coaches, that team's not winning more than 5 games, 6 at best. Yet Steelers fans are blaming him as opposed to the roster construction. Mike Tomlin doesn't have any control over the roster construction. That's a GM and the owner. So why are they continuing to blame Mike Tomlin, and why is Mike Tomlin continuing to take this on? He doesn't have to. Go the Andy Reid route. Go to another team that you can build into a Super Bowl contender. I think Mike Tomlin can do exactly what Andy Reid has done in Kansas City.
Yeah, I think he could. I'm not saying he can't. Let me just say this. Andy Reid's a great coach, but it does help. He went to Kansas City and drafted this guy named I'm trying to think of his name. That's Patrick Mahomes.
That's valid.
So, I'm not taking away from your point, but Patrick Mahomes is what's helping Andy Reid, look good. Andy Reid's a great coach, but he has the best, in my opinion, the best quarterback in the league. So, yes, Mike Tomlin could do that, but I just don't think the Steelers. I just think the Steelers are, like I said, a foundational organization. They ride with you through thick and thin. Again, 3 coaches in the last 50 years: Chuck Noll, Bill Cowher, and now Mike Tomlin. So, I mean, if he had a bad season, he had a bad season. The problem that the Steelers have, they're too good to have a bad season, and they're too good to suck. So it's like they're really always going to be in the middle. It's kind of like the Ravens. Like when the Ravens might have a 5-11 year here and there, but other than that, they're 9, 10, 11 wins every year. So they're going to be drafting 15 to 32 every year. That's the middle of the pack. And the Steelers.
Sorry, I don't feel bad for the Steelers right now as far as, they had a chance to draft Shedeur Sanders, and they chose to draft Will Howard and skip over. And so I don't feel bad for them this year as far as having a succession plan. You didn't have a good succession plan with Ben Roethlisberger because you let him run the organization off of emotion, and you had no succession plan like the Ravens did. They love Joe Flacco. They drafted Lamar Jackson anyway. Joe Flacco didn't like it. Ben Roethlisberger complained when they drafted Mason Rudolph once upon a time, even though he wasn't that good. They didn't prepare. And they had a chance to draft Shedeur Sanders. They said, no, we're going to pass and we're going to draft Will Howard. So what happens in the future after Aaron Rodgers is on them.
And let me just say, they had the chance of drafting better quarterbacks than Will Howard. They could have drafted Milroe. They could have drafted Tyler Shuck. They could have drafted, obviously, Shedeur. They could have drafted Dylan Gabriel. They could have drafted, they could have drafted a couple guys. So they drafted Jackson Dart. Thank you. I slipped off my mind about him being drafted. Thank you. So, my point is that, the Steelers could have had what they got what they wanted. So they wanted Aaron Rodgers. They got him. Good luck to him. Again, I don't necessarily think they'll make the playoffs, but I think if everything went their way, yeah, the right matchup, yeah, they could win a playoff game. They definitely could. Moving on, running back Nick Chubb is likely, let's just say more than likely, to sign with the Houston Texans. I'm glad that Nick Chubb would be in the backfield with Joe Mixon.
Yes,
I like spitting that. So I actually think that's good for him. Whereas though Joe Mixon can be the electric back, and Nick Chubb can be that power back, kind of like how it was at Georgia with Sony Michel and Nick Chubb. So I love the fit for the Texans. In fact, I'm not gonna lie, I was actually looking at Jacksonville to, kind of like sneak up on them and win this division. This sneaky signing could put Houston back on top just because you got two good running backs, you got good receivers. The quarterback should be taking the next step. That defense is going to be better. You got Will Anderson. I think they got the two best young. I know Danielle Hunter's not young, but the two best younger pass rushers on the side, Danielle Hunter and Will Anderson Jr. So I like the Nick Chubb move to the Houston Texans. I really do.
Yeah, it's one of those signings that you kind of look at as underrated, like, as the offseason wanes on and the season begins, because then you start seeing what it looks like. I think it's a very good fit for Chubb. I think it's a great pickup for the Texans, because it helps to bolster that running game, which you need for C.J. Stroud in order to have the play action game, which he's very effective at. So Chubb is coming off, obviously, that nasty injury, that leg injury he had a couple seasons ago. You could see last year he's just trying to bounce back. I think another year getting healthy in the offseason, getting out of Cleveland, I think he'll have a chance to have a bounce back season, with a team that is viable and having a chance to make the playoffs. Nick Chubb's a really good running back. He used to give me fits as a Ravens fan watching him every season, but I'm happy for him. I think he's going to help the Houston Texans immensely, in my opinion.
So obviously, I'm a Baker Mayfield fan. I love Nick Chubb. I have nothing bad to say about Nick Chubb. He made Baker look good in Cleveland when Baker was trying to find his way. So I love Nick Chubb. I think, again, with this 1-2 running back committee, it definitely can work with the Texans. And again, that should make the offense better and make the defense better. You running with Nick Chubb, you killing time of possession, get your defense fresher. Guys are, should be a little bit more healthier because you're running the ball. You got that time of possession with Mixon and Chubb. So I really like the move for the Texans. Good for the Houston Texans and good for Nick Chubb. Our last topic on NFL news is the Green Bay Packers are releasing starting cornerback Jaire Alexander. He's one of the best corners in the NFL. What teams do you think should be interested in Jaire Alexander?
Jaire Alexander can really change the defense for many teams. I think the Washington Commanders should be on the phone. I think the Detroit Lions should be on the phone. The Baltimore Ravens should be on the phone. And then maybe San Francisco should be on the phone. I would say those four teams off the top of my head. So
say it again. Baltimore, San Fran.
Baltimore, Detroit. San Fran, Detroit, and I think the Washington Commanders.
And Washington. Okay.
So outside shot, because he's from there, Carolina Panthers.
Carolina. Okay. Let's say wild card. Okay, cool. All right. So some of the teams I had on there, I actually had one of the teams I had on there that we agree on. I think the Commanders should definitely be interested in him. Also, the Buffalo Bills, in my opinion, should be interested in him. The Los Angeles Rams should be interested in him. And you're going to laugh. It's funny how in America, the rich just keep getting richer. I think the Philadelphia Eagles should be interested. They lost Darius Slay. You replace him with Darius Slay.
Yeah, they got enough.
You got Mitchell. No, I'm just saying you got Mitchell. So you can add him. Basically, he can replace what Darius Slay was, and you can slide right in. Now I know he does. I'm reading reports that he's a little mercurial person that has a mercurial personality. You found me? So if you can deal with him and understand him, I think everything should be good. But I think the Philadelphia Eagles should definitely be interested in Jaire Alexander. So, and let me touch your Baltimore point. I think the Ravens should be interested as well. You pair him with Marlon Humphrey, Wiggins, and then you got Kyle Hamilton and Malachi Starks in the backfield. That might be the best secondary in the NFL. Just might. So, like you said, Jaire Alexander can move things especially if he goes to the right team. So, Baltimore, San Francisco, Detroit, and Washington for you, with a wild card being Carolina because he's from that area. And for me, I like Buffalo, I like the Rams, I like the Commanders, and I like the Eagles.
Agreed.
Ladies and gentlemen, we're going to take a quick break. You're watching Highly Opinionated. We will be right back. Ladies and gentlemen, this episode of Highly Opinionated is sponsored by Wolves of War. In some of the episodes, you can see my co-host and Ross wearing a brand called Wolves of War. Wolves of War is our first sponsor, ladies and gentlemen, and we are so thankful to have those guys sponsoring Highly Opinionated. Thank you very much. The actual meaning of Wolves of War is that it represents having a strong path behind you through the battles of life. With the right people behind you, you can get through anything. You guys see the link for Wolves of War? Make sure you guys click on the link, shop, great apparels, t-shirts, sweatsuits, whatever you want, they have. Once again, Wolves of War. Make sure you guys go shop. Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen, to Highly Opinionated. It's that time. The best segment in sports. This week's Let's Talk About It is about Tom Thibodeau and the New York Knicks. The New York Knicks fired Tom Thibodeau after losing in the Eastern Conference Finals, Game 6 to the Indiana Pacers. The New York Knicks currently, they obviously fired Tom Thibodeau, so they do not have they currently do not have a head coach. Here is ESPN's Brian Windhorst on the Knicks coaching search.
Yeah, the way I would describe this is there's mutual intrigue on both sides. And also, I know there's this whole thing about asking for permission. You don't ask for permission to hire another team's coach. When you ask, you're going to hire them. So essentially, when the Knicks express interest, the ball will be in the Mavericks' court. And they have three options as I see it. One, they can just say, no, thank you very much. Jason, we'll see you in the fall. Look forward to the season. Look forward to Cooper Flagg. They can try to make Jason Kidd have zero interest in the Knicks, possibly with the new contract. They did just give him an extension last year. Or they can negotiate a trade. And we have seen a handful of trades of coaches over the last 15 to 18 years, including Jason Kidd being traded from the Brooklyn Nets to the Milwaukee Bucks for 2 second-round picks 11 years ago. So it's not like Jason Kidd hasn't been in this situation before.
That's ESPN's Brian Windhorst, one of the best reporters in the game. Shout out to Brian Windhorst, a.k.a. Wendy, man. One of the best and most purest people in the sports media game. So your thought, yeah. Where them fingers at, man? Where's that? Again, shout out to Brian Windhorst. So the Knicks are interested in Jason Kidd. Jason Kidd is interested in the Knicks. So one, do you think Tom Thibodeau should have been fired? And two, who do you think should be the next coach of the New York Knicks?
I might need a couple minutes here with this one. First of all, no, Tom Thibodeau should not have been fired. And I think Leon Rose and James Dolan, this is the GM and the owner, are a couple of cowards. You fired a man that took the New York Knicks for the first time in 25 years to the Eastern Conference Finals, defeating a team that everyone thought you had no shot against, the Boston Celtics. And before everyone goes crazy, I don't want to hear about Tatum's injury. Obviously, we wish him a speedy recovery. He's probably not going to be back next season. I get it. He was healthy when Boston had two 20-point leads in both Game 1 and Game 2 and lost it at home. Knicks came back and took that. So I don't want to hear about injuries. So they beat Boston, a team that everyone said was going to beat them. Knicks fans who had some sense even said, hey, if we win 2 games in this series, I'm cool. We had a good season. These are Knicks fans with sense. The irrational one said, oh, we're going to win. And then it's like, yeah, they did it. Got to the conference finals. Lost to a better team. Let's call it what it is. They lost to a better team. You're going to fire that guy because you lost to a better team in the conference finals when you had no business beating Boston to begin with, but you took it. You're going to fire him, building this team that was a laughingstock since 2000. And I'm including the Carmelo Anthony and Amari Stoudemire years. Yeah, they were fun to watch, but no one took them serious. Not in the playoffs. No one did. I love Carmelo Anthony. Was a fan of Amari Stoudemire. Nobody took them serious. So we're talking Allen Houston, Latrell Sprewell, and Stephon Marbury years. It was the last time New York was even relevant in a playoff picture. It's cowardice on Leon Rose and James Dolan because you can't even hold a press conference and explain to the New York Knicks fans, who are some of those passionate in the NBA, at times crazy. You can't even explain to them why you did it. You just put out a bogus statement saying, "Hey, we love Tom Thibodeau for all that he's done. You know, we'll keep him, you know, in our thoughts and everything. You know, he's always gonna be part of this community." It's like a breakup letter that you send to somebody. I'm going to break up with you publicly and be nice about it. That's basically what it was. You broke up with Tom Thibodeau over text and shared it with the New York Knicks fans. That's a joke. That's the best you can do. The only way that this doesn't become one of the stupidest things in NBA history, you better get a Jason Kidd, you better get an Eric Spoelstra or somebody like that. You cannot get this next coaching decision wrong, or you're going to regret what you did firing Tom Thibodeau for a long time, to the point where it should cost you your jobs. James Dolan, I've been done with for forever. He sucks as an owner. He's disrespectful to former players with the Knicks. No one likes him. He's like literally that guy in high school that ate lunch by himself and didn't have a lot of friends in high school. That's who James Dolan is. He came into some money, so now he thinks he's a big shot, and he likes barking orders and telling people what to do. That's what he does. Doesn't know anything about basketball. It's not a good owner. He's never been a good owner. So I'm sick of him for that one. Now I'm getting to Jason Kidd. I don't know if I even want Jason Kidd to take his job, because what am I getting with this roster? This roster needs work. If you're not getting Kevin Durant or Giannis Antetokounmpo, I'm not taking it. 5 first-round picks were given up by the New York Knicks to get Mikal Bridges.
4 unprotected. Four of them were unprotected.
Yes, 4 unprotected. Mikal Bridges, nice player. I like Mikal Bridges. He's an NBA player. He can be a starter with most teams. He has never made an All-Star game. He's never been an NBA All-Star. That's the guy you give up 5 first-round picks for? While Giannis Antetokounmpo is potentially on the move, and you could have had those picks to trade for him, to pair with Jalen Brunson. Even if it means giving up Karl Anthony Towns, you got a chance to get Giannis, you take it. Then if I'm Jason Kidd, yeah, hell yeah, I'll take that job. That would be an attractive job. But right now, as volatile as the New York Knicks are, and you just saw what they did to Tom Thibodeau, a guy that broke the seal and got the Knicks to the conference finals. Even that wasn't good enough for him. So why, if I'm Jason Kidd, I'm looking at that like, well, hell, I saw what Tom did. Why would I want to put myself in a position where if I don't get to the East Finals, I'm probably going to get fired within the next year? I would stay in Dallas. Wait on Kyrie Irving to get healthy. Wait on Anthony Davis to get back healthy. Coach up young Cooper Flag, who's likely going to be the number 1 pick for the Dallas Mavericks. That's where I stand if I'm Jason Kidd.
So let's go back to James Dolan and the general manager. Who's the general manager in New York? Leon Rose. I don't think James Dolan is one of the best. I don't think he's a great owner. I agree with you on that. Where I'm disappointed in Leon Rose is the trade that you talked about. They traded 5 first-round picks for Mikal Bridges. You're being so nice, bro. You're so nice. You're a nice guy. You don't want to say it, so I'm going to say it. He ain't worth that. That's what it comes down to. He's not worth that. I don't give a fuck if he made the All-Star game. He could be an All-Star dad. I don't give a damn. He ain't worth 5 first-round picks. And he damn sure ain't worth 4 unprotected first-round picks. I don't give a damn what you said or what anybody said. You do that for Kevin Durant, Giannis, Wemby, LeBron. Even them guys will go for more than that. Mikel, Monel. He don't deserve that. He should never have been traded for 4 unprotected first-round picks. Never. So Leon Rose, you mess up this roster by trading that many first-round picks for Bridges. I don't give a damn if Jalen Brunson wanted to play with him or not. Bro, it's plenty of people that played in Villanova that could play on the Knicks. Just because you wanted to create the Villanova Knicks again? No. Villanova Wildcats and turn them to the Nova Knicks? No. He's not worth that. This roster is not put together right. Now, Tom Thibodeau didn't help by, not playing people when he should have. So, fine. I don't think Tom Thibodeau should have been fired. They didn't lose necessarily because of coaching. They lost because their 2 best players got outplayed by Indiana's 2 best players. That would be Tyrese Halliburton and Pascal Siakam. Outplayed Karl Anthony Towns and Jalen Brunson. That's what happened. Their 2 best players were liabilities on defense. Let's not make it seem like Pascal Siakam is an all-defensive type player. And we damn sure know Tyrese Halliburton ain't no all-defensive type player. So, no, the Indiana's players just had more heart than the Knicks' best players. That's fine. Now, let me move on. Shout out to Brian Windhorst and shout out to you, bro, for talking about Jason Kidd. Jason Kidd, let me say this. Take these glasses off when I say this. Ross, you can put the camera on me. Give you time. Okay, good. Camera on me. Thank you. Jason Kidd, you are a fool if you leave the Dallas Mavericks and go coach the New York Knicks. The Dallas Mavericks have way more assets and have way more trade pieces to make that team better than the New York Knicks. You got Anthony Davis, Kyrie Irving coming back, and you got the number 1 pick. Okay, cool. You still got Daniel Gafford and P.J. Washington. You can trade to improve that roster. And we know that the Mavericks will at least sign the guard to somewhat replace Kyrie while he's gone. Jason Kidd, don't be stupid. Keep your ass down there in Dallas, where if you lose, the heat won't be on you. It'll be on Nico Harrison because they traded away Luka Doncic. If you go to New York, they expect you to go to the NBA Finals. Now, John being nice. He was being nice to Bridges. What's his name? Mikal Bridges. He was being nice to him, and he's being nice to the New York Knicks. I'm not saying you're not being real, but I'm gonna just be authentic about it. The Knicks luckily made the Eastern Conference Finals. Yes, they luckily made the Eastern Conference Finals. Yes, they beat Boston, but them games were just weird. Like, I don't understand how a team can be up 20 that many times and just not win the game. That's crazy to me. But fine, the Knicks came back. Detroit played New York tough in the first round. They arguably could have beat the Knicks in the first round. So they made the conference finals this year, fine. We're not sure that the Knicks will make the conference finals next year. We think Orlando will be better. We think Orlando will be better. Boston will still be somewhat in contention. They have good players. Again, we don't think highly of Cleveland, but Cleveland won 60-some games, so they'll be in contention next year. Indiana be back there. Teams that struggling at the bottom. I expect the Toronto Raptors to make moves to try to get themselves back in the playoff contention. So Detroit, like I said, I think Detroit and Orlando are the two best young teams in the East. They will get better. So yeah, Jason Kidd should not want to leave Dallas for New York. Now, as far as who should want to coach this team, I know that they're gonna say it's basically you going from one rigid old coach to another rigid old coach. I would hire Mike Malone. I don't understand why. Or I would hire Mike Malone or Taylor Jenkins. I think Taylor Jenkins would do good in New York just because of that shit show he had to deal with Memphis. He ain't gonna have them problems that he had in Memphis in New York. The players in New York, they're focused on basketball. The players John Morant wasn't fully focused on the NBA. He was focused on other things. In New York, they'll be focused on playing, focused on trying to win games. So for me, Mike Malone or Taylor Jenkins, those two names should be the coaches that New York should hire. And even if they don't make the conference finals next year, doesn't mean next season is a disaster or a disappointing season. We don't know how the Eastern Conference is going to look right now. So we don't know who's going to be good, who's going to be bad. So again, for me, Taylor Jenkins, Mike Malone. And no, Tom Thibodeau shouldn't have been fired. Leon Rose messed his team up by trading 5 first-round picks for Bridges. Leon, honestly, you want to talk about James Dolan? He should have fired Leon Rose for malpractice for doing that.
Exactly. And yet you want to scapegoat the guy that just broke the seal for you the first time in 25 years. Blame him because, I'm sorry, we couldn't take the sorry subpar Knicks team to the finals. It's just like New York and James Dolan don't know how to get out of their own way. It's like you finally did this. Why would you get rid of it? And your best player just came on the post-game comments when they lost, backing up on Tom Thibodeau. So basically, you gave a middle finger to your best player, who you will be nothing without, let alone make it this far. And you basically said, "Well, screw you, dude. We're going to fire him anyway and bring in." Like I said, they better not mess this up. They better be bringing in a Mike Malone, like you said, maybe a Jason Kidd, Ty Lue, someone of that caliber better be available, or it's going to be hell to pay in New York.
I'm sorry, man. If I'm them guys, man, even Ty Lue, and I picked the Clippers. I felt when I say I'm not a Clippers fan, I like the Clippers. I'm just not picking them. When I say that, I'm not picking them to go to the NBA Finals. That's what I mean by saying I'm not a Clippers fan. I like the team. Ty Lue got a great situation in LA. Keep your ass in LA. Jason Kidd, keep your ass in Dallas. Eric, you think Pat Riley gonna let Eric Spoelstra go? Hell no. He need Eric Spoelstra. He need Eric Spoelstra right now more than Eric Spoelstra need Pat Riley. You feel me? So no, that ain't gonna happen. Listen, you got 2 good coaches who are available. Listen, these guys that come on here and talk about Mark Jackson, bro, that's like out here mentioning Colin Kaepernick to still be your starting quarterback. That's not happening. So we need to just stop with this Mark Jackson stuff. If you want to say Mark Jackson got blackball, whiteball, however you want to look at it, fine, I can give you that. But bro, he ain't coaching over 10 to 12 years. He's not coaching now. That's just, it is what it is. You got 2 coaches on this. You got 2 coaches available. One's a championship coach, and one's a coach that took Memphis. Took Memphis to the number 3 seed, I think. So Taylor Jenkins or my man Mike Malone.
Speaking of the Clippers, though, that reminded me. Why not make a play at Jeff Van Gundy?
I'm gonna tell you why they won't. Because that's Tibbs' man. Tibbs worked under Van Gundy in New York. Van Gundy wouldn't take that job, I don't think he would not take that job just because of his allegiance to Tibbs. I really do. I really believe Jeff Van Gundy wouldn't take that. And plus, he already worked there. So what's the benefit of him going there to work there again? Because again, I don't think the Knicks are going to win the championship next year. They can go get Kevin Durant or Giannis. If they go get either one of them, their team is destroyed. So now it weakens the team. They're going to have to trade more than just Karl-Anthony Towns for Giannis or KD. They're going to have to trade maybe OG, maybe Miles McBride.
I would let Bridges and Karl-Anthony Towns go for Giannis. I think that would be enough. That'll depend on the asking price, but we'll see.
But you're right. It depends on what Milwaukee asking price is. But think about it like this: they can't do that because they don't have the first round picks to give them. See, if you had the first round picks, they could have gave him Cat and bro. Like let's say, okay, so they traded 5 first round picks. Let's say they traded 2 first round picks for Mikal Bridges. Now you got Bridges, Cat, and 3 first round picks to give to Milwaukee. That makes the deal better. Milwaukee wants picks and players. They just don't want no good average to good players. They want both players and picks. So, Tom Thibodeau, you did a hell of a job this year taking the Knicks to the Eastern Conference Finals. I thought y'all was going to lose in the second round. I didn't even think you was going to win. I thought they was going to win one game against the Boston Celtics. Excuse me. They won the whole series. So, I can think it's luck, whatever. They still did that. Tom Thibodeau, I hope he finds another job down the line. But Tibbs, let me just give you this advice. Stop running players into the dirt. Play your bench. When you played your bench in the conference finals, y'all actually started winning games. Develop a bench so you don't have to ride your starters 24/7, man. People get tired, man. You should have learned that with Derrick Rose. Man. Ladies and gentlemen, we're going to take a quick break. You're watching Highly Opinionated. We will be right back. Ladies and gentlemen, this episode of Highly Opinionated is sponsored by Wolves of War. In some of the episodes, you can see my co-host and Ross wearing a brand called Wolves of War. Wolves of War is our first sponsor, ladies and gentlemen, and we are so thankful to have those guys sponsoring Highly Opinionated. Thank you very much. The actual meaning of Wolves of War is that it represents having a strong path behind you through the battles of life. With the right people behind you, you can get through anything. You guys see the link for Wolves of War? Make sure you guys click on the link, shop, great apparels, t-shirts, sweatsuits, whatever you want, they have. Once again, Wolves of War. Make sure you guys go shop. Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen, to Highly Opinionated. As you can see, we have a special guest, Royalty. Maryland Royalty is on this line right now. I got the best co-host in the game right there, JG, and the man who created JG himself, the legendary Mr. Ernie Graham. Welcome to Highly Opinionated, Mr. Ernie Graham. How are you, sir?
All right, don't let my wife hear this. I created him. Oh, no.
I'm sorry. The lovely Mr. and Mrs. Graham created JG.
I don't want no trouble.
Jesus Christ.
We don't want no trouble either for you. Promise you we don't want no trouble. Once again, sir, thank you for coming on, man. Thank you for doing this. I greatly appreciate this very, very much.
It's a privilege and an honor to be able to be a guest on people's podcasts these days. That's the new way of getting the words out, opinions of others. I think it's a pretty good deal. I really do.
Thank you, sir. We greatly appreciate that. I want to start off with just asking you, just obviously we'll get to your playing basketball career in a second, but who were some of your influences and inspirations to play basketball, to make you want to play basketball?
Well, to be honest, my older brother and I are a year apart. God rest his soul. Kevin Graham was 13 days or 1 year older than myself. And so we began playing around. He was 9, I was 8. We started playing basketball. And I just enjoyed dribbling the basketball when I was young. That's all I can remember. It wasn't so much about shooting. You know, I was young and the basket was a little high back then. But dribbling the ball was so much fun. We had a German Shepherd that used to try to bite the basketballs. and she would go nuts trying to get to the ball. So I would have to keep it away from her in the yard, and I enjoyed doing that for a very long time growing up. And that was one of the reasons I was able to handle the ball so well once I got taller and older. Mm-hmm.
Gotcha. Go ahead, JG.
Yeah, so obviously rest in peace on my uncle Kevin, being an inspiration and everything. When did you start realizing that this is a game that I really could take far? Like, I'm really good at this. Like, I can become a legend at this. Like, when did you first have that feeling about it with basketball?
Johnson, I cannot tell you how tough it was growing up. Being 6'7", 16, 17 years old, trying to play a position that was never acceptable to most of the teams, coaches, people. You were supposed to play in the post. You were not supposed to be able to dribble the basketball and play the wing as I was able to. So it was a constant struggle for me to be able to play. So I had to play with the older guys. Some of the great players when I was younger played for a team called Camp Concern, Dickie Kelly and guys like Roger Dickens and those guys let me play on their team. 16 and 17, I played unlimited so that I could play on the wing. So I was never really considered one of the best, all the way up probably until I got in the 12th grade, went to Dunbar and got my opportunity to be the number one guy. Lake Clifton's team had loaded. Rodney Wright, my brother Kevin, Robert Brown, Arnold Gaines, they were all Americans. And so I wasn't an All-American. In fact, I never did make All-American in high school. So I guess once I got in the 12th grade and I started to have a lot of success individually, as a team, Lake Clifton, we won championship 2 years in a row. We beat everybody, undefeated. So going to Dunbar and ultimately beating Lake Clifton for the championship my senior year, going 27-0, averaging 27 points, 22 rebounds a game. I started to feel myself a little bit. I felt like I could do this.
He said it so light, like I averaged 27
Yeah,
points.
like 27. You said that so calmly. Like I averaged 27, 22.
It's nothing.
Like it's nothing.
Well, it really, I don't know. I didn't look at it like that. I was doing what it took for us to win.
I hear that.
To get everything I got for us to win all of our games. It's different now, and we'll get to that a little later. But years ago, all the teams were stacked. All the high school teams and all the college teams had great talent throughout the country. So you had to really perform at a high level, which is part of the reason I was able to set the record at Maryland my sophomore year, because that was the first opportunity I got to start in the ACC. My freshman year, I played 6 minutes a game. 5 minutes, I'm sorry, and averaged 6 points a game. And I was, I was really disappointed. I was angry. I worked my tail off. I was looking at John. I'm looking at Last Dance yesterday and the day before a little bit, and looking at Mike and how we were a lot alike in that we were so competitive that a lot of times our teammates didn't care too much for us because we were pushing everybody and ourselves to perform at a high level, and everybody's not feeling that. Most of the time you get one or two guys that have that high energy level to push everybody else. And so once I got an opportunity to go to college, get a scholarship, you guys don't realize years ago, Baltimore had so much talent, but there were very few guys going to college around the country because no one knew. Baltimore was not on the national level. The press wasn't connected around the country, and so therefore it was hard to make All-American. and those the political support that's needed to play at the college level. A lot of guys like Albert King, for instance, who came from New York, was deemed the player of the year in high school, #1 player, and he was playing in front of me at Maryland my freshman year, and I wasn't having it. I wasn't having it. I didn't care where he was from. I didn't care what they said. So every day in practice, I was on him. In fact, he wrote an article. He didn't write it, but Sports Illustrated wrote an article. He had a dismal freshman year, and he wanted to say it was because I was badgering him every day. But what I was doing was what we do here in Baltimore. We go get it. I went after it every day. I played with the second team and beat the first team in practice every day until they had to make a position for me. So they moved me from small forward to shooting guard my second year at Maryland. And that's when things changed. That's when, that first ACC game, it was 25 minutes, 44 points, 18 for 24 from the field. What was it? 8 out of 10 from the free throw line. In fact, I was able that year to lead the team in scoring, second in rebounding, first in assists and steals. Very few people ever were able to do those type of things or have those type of statistics. But the political side of the game stated I wasn't supposed to be that guy. I wasn't the one that sold season tickets and had national notoriety where the people around the country were waiting to see Ernie Graham play. They were waiting to see Albert King play and Buck Williams and these guys with these big names. So it was awfully difficult for me to be able to perform the way I was. There was a lot of controversy. It was a lot of pressure. It was a lot of challenges, I would say, for me to be able to do that. But, being from Baltimore, once again, I stepped up to the challenge. It didn't get easier, but I got a little tougher and was able to play a lot of positions. I started in 4 positions at the University of Maryland. Point guard, 2 guard, small forward, and power forward. So very few people can say that. 5, when I left Maryland, top 5 in rebounds, points, assists, and steals in the history of the school. But the political part played a role in me not getting drafted, where I would have loved to have been a first-round pick, felt like I should have been. I wasn't. And I had to live with that. So
your time at Maryland, I mean, you played with your 4 years, you played with 5 NBA players, from Lawrence Boston, Albert King, Mike Davis, Charles Pittman, and Buck Williams. So for you to put up these numbers with these guys on your team, that should show what type of ball player you truly are. And just one more, I don't want to put a feather in your cap, but I come prepared. I come prepared, ladies and gentlemen. So your sophomore year, you started 29 games. You started 29 games. You averaged 16.6. In my hood, we gonna say that's 17. I'm just gonna say that's 17 for me. And you averaged 3 rebounds. So once you had that opportunity to get your opportunity as a sophomore, you obviously took advantage of it and propelled you to have that 44-point game that you were talking about. It like you had an opportunity because you were in practice doing what you were supposed to do and earning your keep and earning your time. And like you said, that's a little different than what it is now in sports. Like a lot of people are given things. No, you got it out the mud. You took it. You earned it. You went out and said, hey, I'm going to do this. Like I always say this about John. Like when me and John went to Calvert Hall, what gravitated to me and John was that we both wanted success. Now he might be able to drop 25 and 10 on the basketball court, and I can talk about it from the bleachers on the sideline. Hey, look at my bro, man, he's killing them. But we both wanted success. So successful people are always going to gravitate to each other. And sometimes with John, hey man, Josh, I need you to step your part of my language. I need you to step your shit up. And I've said that to John several times. So iron sharpens iron. And again, you played with 5 NBA players in 4 years. For you to average 17 Then your junior year, you average 16. Your senior year, you average 15. Yeah, that's impressive playing with other NBA talent. Last year, your senior year, you played with Charles Pittman and Buck Williams. Like,
Buck
Williams was a top 10 pick, if I'm not mistaken.
Al King, I think he went 7, Buck went 5, I think. Something like that. And they pushed me all the way back to the 3rd round. Broke my heart.
But let me say this. Your draft class was loaded. Mark McGuire was in that draft class. Isaiah Thomas was in that draft class. William Tisdale was in that draft class. So your draft class was loaded. It wasn't like, I mean, I'm not, again, do I think you probably should have, do I think you should have went before the 3rd round? Hell yeah. It's kind of like what happened to Shedeur Sanders in the NFL. He should have been drafted before the 5th round. But again, like,
contact any guys, any one of them, and ask them about old Ernie Graham. They'll tell you. All of them. Every last one of them. You know, every name you named, I gave it to them. Okay? All the way down to James Worthy from Carolina and Al Wood. You missed a lot of guys. Kelly Tripucka came out that year. Orlando Woolridge came out that year from Notre Dame. Paxson was there. So was Lambeer. There was just a whole slew of great talent. But none of those guys were able to play as I was able to do and keep my numbers up, you know, because what you didn't say is my junior year, I was taken from the shooting guard and made to play power forward. Who does that? I led the team in scoring. I don't know where you get 3 rebounds from. I never averaged 3 rebounds, but
it was more than that. I'm sorry. Let me do better numbers. So
it was 3 assists, I believe it was.
3 assists. Okay.
Behind Buck Williams, and then at the end, the Steelers, they said I never passed the ball. Most of the press, you know, because they can convince people of a lot of things that they don't even see, make you think the guy never passes the ball, who ends up 3rd in the history of the school in assists, behind Brad Davis and John Lucas, who were both lottery picks in the draft as point guards. So I don't know. I think assist means you pass the basketball, right?
That's what it means to me.
That's what I think it means. And so it was always said that, in fact, Buck Williams was just on the podcast with my son not long ago, saying I never saw a shot I didn't like. I never saw a shot I couldn't make. Where they get that. But, you know, all I wanted to do was win. I lost more games in the first 2 months at Maryland than I lost in my whole life.
Wow.
I never lost that many basketball games. I couldn't even, and I'm sitting on the bench. It was making me really a different person. It changed me.
This guy never lost a game in high school. For our viewers, he never lost a game in high school.
Yep.
I want everybody to know that.
At Lake Clifton and at Dunbar, never lost a game.
Not one.
Old school. Wow. And won great championships. Yep.
Dang.
So
damn. I ain't gonna lie. So my bet, John. You want to go or you want me to go?
Yeah, I was going to ask a little bit about the brief NBA career before you ended up having a really successful one overseas. Can you tell us a story about the one particular player on the Sixers who used to give a hard time, and to this day remembers that, one by the name of Dr. J. Irving? You mind telling our viewers that story?
Well, when I went to camp, I walked up to him and reached my hand out and said, "I'm Ernie Graham." And he slapped my hand down, and he said, "Why didn't you come out 2 years ago?" And I said, "Why didn't you come get me?" I didn't know. When I was a shooting guard, I was high, my stock was really high. And for that reason, they took me from that position and put me, not only that, though, it's more to it, son. I don't want to go too deep because I plan on, divulging some things in a special kind of way soon.
Yes,
but
sir.
John and I were at a Cal. Dr. J was being honored, and he stood up and said he wanted to give flowers to this guy from Baltimore, and what he talked about how I could play, and this was 40 years ago, and he said my name, and he had me stand up. But what it was is he had a game here, All-Star game, and I played in the game. But by then I was cut from the 76ers. I was playing over in South America. It was bitter. So when I got a chance to get him out there, I gave it to him. So I had 54 points in 3 quarters, and I took off my shirt and I left. You know, I said, man, I'm not playing on this guy. And he never forgot it. So he said it's 60 points, but it was 54.
54. Wow.
With a quarter left to play.
My man said, I took my shirt off after the third quarter. I'm not playing no more. I gave you all I could give you.
I didn't want to hurt him. He was
man. I know we kind of started at Maryland. I want to go back to your high school career just for 1 second.
Sure.
Obviously, Mr. Aaron, I've seen you, I've met you several times, I've been around you several times. So I feel like I don't know you very well, but I know who you are, you know who I am. So we know each other. Yeah. I never knew that you went to Lake Clifton. I always thought that you just went to Dunbar. So I'm gonna ask you this. You was at Lake Clifton, you were at Dunbar. If both teams played against each other, who would win, Lake or Dunbar?
Depend what year. Are you talking about? I mean, that's a tough question if you think about it, because at Lake Clifton, we beat Dunbar both years. When I went to Dunbar, we beat Lake Clifton that year for the championship. So to ask that question, that Lake Clifton team was probably the best team I've ever had the privilege of playing on. You talk about the pros and the first round picks and all of that, Maryland. My high school team would have whipped Maryland's butt. That's how good they were.
Wow.
All you got to look at my Pop Wright with the Drake. He scored, I think, 43 in one of his games at Drake. Arnold Gaines, Wisconsin, started at point guard, played in the Big Ten, made all types of all tournament, all conference awards. My brother Kevin, had he not failed in his 12th grade year and had to go to junior college and then had some other issues going on academically, was a dangerous player. So Lake Clifton probably is the best team I've ever been a part of. But the reason I left Lake Clifton, we can get to that real quickly, is that they had a busing act in 76. And you had to go to school where you live in your
jurisdiction.
In your area, your zip code. So they sent me to Patterson High School, way out, somewhere out there in Essex, out that way. I don't know where it is. And I said, no way. I'm not doing that. I've been on championship level basketball teams, and I'm gonna stay. And so Dunbar had legislation passed to say that they were a community school and that anyone could go there from any zip code. That happened in about 2 weeks, and I ended up at Dunbar. That's how I got there. Dunbar was 12-8 the year before I got there. 27-0 the year I was there.
Wow.
So that lets you know the difference that I was able to make with the Dunbar team versus the Lake Clifton team.
Absolutely. Go ahead, JJ.
So going back to Maryland, I'm gonna fast forward a little bit, kind of have a family moment real quick, if you don't mind, Josh.
Go ahead.
How was it that first moment, Maryland Madness, where I come out the tunnel and I see you like in the first moment? It's like I get announced as a Maryland Terrapin. This is something that obviously we talked about ever since I was 8, 9 years old.
Yes.
We weren't sure it was gonna happen. We took a little detour going to Penn State, great school, great time there and all that. But somehow the door opens for myself to get a chance to play at Maryland. Just describe like what that moment was for you, being the Terp that you were back then, and seeing like your son eventually get a chance to do that.
John, I was so happy for you. I was full of tears and of joy. I'm so happy for you. I saw the joy in your eyes. I saw you fulfilling a dream you had as a little boy. Like you, I didn't think it was going to happen. But at that moment, I knew God was good. Because all the stuff I had gone through in my life earlier, the love that you and I had was so strong that it meant more to me that you had that jersey on than me ever wearing a jersey anywhere. It was redemption for me. It was, they had hung the jersey up after 31 years. Then you were able to put it on. I mean, it doesn't get any better than that. They could have took me away that day, and I'd have been just fine. I'm telling you. Yes.
Man, yeah, that's a great moment. Obviously, me knowing John was communicating with me when he was leaving Penn State and going to Maryland. Mm-hmm. And I was just happy for him because of what you're saying. Like I know, like John looks up to you. All your kids look up to you, but like following in your footsteps meant, like, as much as it meant for you to see John doing that, I can tell you personally, knowing John, it meant the world to John to be able to do that because you laid down the foundation. Like, again, it's not like he stepped like John loves Maryland. Like, loves Maryland. When I say, like, every time we go into it, and I know you guys don't want me to say the school name. I love Duke, y'all. So y'all guys out the way. But when we go into a Maryland Duke argument, he will stand up for Maryland even if he's dead ass wrong because he bleeds red, yellow, and black. You feel me? That's the colors that he bleeds. And part of that reason why he bleeds that is because of you, sir. Like you were the foundation. You were the platform where not just him, a lot of people looked up to you. A lot of people still look up to you just because of. So you have the highest scoring Maryland game. You have the highest scoring game in Maryland history. So you ain't just no, like, not to be funny, you ain't just no scrub walking around like, hey man, I did it one time, I'm good. Like, I don't want to call out no name. You're not Ben Simmons. You was hot for a moment, and then you fell off. You ain't that. You're a solidified, bona fide baller who, again, not only do. And again, one of the reasons why I wanted you to come on, and again, John, I love you for this. Thank you, bro. Like, was because I wanted the younger generation, like, as we get older, like, the younger generation gets younger. So, like, they see the LeBrons and the Steph Currys and the Kevin Durant. They don't know about the Michael Jordans, the Clyde Drexlers, the Buck Williams, the Muggsy Bowles. Like, these guys are key parts. Maybe not key. Key is not the right word. But these guys are important parts of the NBA. It's right. It's not just Magic Johnson, Larry Bird, Michael Jordan. Oh, okay, there go LeBron. No, it's some other guys who helped lay down the foundation for not only college basketball in their universities, but the NBA. So again, like, you have the highest scoring game in Maryland history. There have been some great players that Maryland has a freshman that will be drafted in the top 10 this year. In my opinion, he should be drafted in the top 10. Yeah. See what I'm saying? So it's not like they had Grievous Vasquez, Juan Dixon, Steve Blake, Lonnie Baxter. Come on, John, give me some more names. I'm being nice to Maryland, y'all. I can't believe I'm doing this.
Chris Wilcox,
John
Gilchrist, Drew Nicholas.
The two guys you played with, Melo Trimble and Dez Wells. So
and 3-point shots.
They all had a 3-point shot. There was no 3-point shot when you played.
You didn't have that. So, and then again, you were a 6'7" power forward. Like, that makes kind of like no sense. That's like Charles Barkley.
No, I was a shooting guard that year.
No, I know, but I'm saying they moved you to you said you played for all 5 positions, so they had you at a certain point in time, all 4 positions. They had you at a certain time playing power forward. That's kind of crazy back in the day where they were power forwards. They really was banging.
Oh my goodness. Yes, sir. Absolutely.
So I just want to give both of you guys your flowers. Like, yeah, John, I'm not poo-pooing you. You know you're my dog. I love you. But yeah, John deserved his flowers. Right. But the reason why that man got 25 on is because of you, sir. The reason why people are renowned of Ernie. It's because of you. You put in the work. Again, like I said, just hearing your story about at Maryland when people might not like you. Like I kind of can relate to that. I didn't play at Maryland, anything like that. But sometimes when I get jobs, like people won't like me because like, oh, well, yeah, he too standoff or he too this. No, I'm just me. Iron sharpen iron. And I love that and again, just knowing John, that's where I see you get it from. He gets it from you because iron sharpens iron.
On his flowers. Because if it wasn't for him, I wouldn't be here right now. Okay? The love that young man right there has for me and had for me when I first got off of drugs. You talk about following footsteps. Because of him, I started to change where I walked and where I went and what I did because I wanted to earn the love that he had for me. And I knew I had to change my life in order to do that. So it meant the world to me to walk in the right way so that he would. I wanted his life to be better than mine. I didn't even want him to play basketball because I didn't want him to experience the disappointments and the pain that I went through. But when he wanted to play, I was right there for him. The love that he and I have, it's just no way to express it other than he saved my life. He was the little tugboat that pulled the old battleship in because I was out there sitting in the middle of the water, rusting away. I had nothing left. It was him and me. I took him to school every day, picked him up every day. We got Happy Meal, hamburger, Happy Meal, mustard day. And, the rest is history, man. But I thank God for him all the time. And, there are a lot of people that played a role in my life, but none as pivotal as that young man right there. And so for him to have any success really touches me because he showed me what hard work can do. You work hard, you have success. I was always gifted and talented, so I never worked real hard at nothing. And I watched how hard he worked at everything. And I saw the success that he was having at everything. And I learned from him how to apply myself better. I'm sitting here now with 30 years clean. And it's because of the love that he has for me that's given me the strength and the courage to stand up and face the world just as it is. Yeah. So flowers to him.
Hey man, just to piggyback off that, like you call me your hero, I'll call you mine. Like I always have because I think I remember like one time we had like a crazy winter storm, and I was too little to like walk in the snow, but you had footsteps, and I literally would like follow your footsteps like in the snow. That way I can move through it just to catch up to you. So if that doesn't emphasize what this relationship is, like you already know. And good, yeah. And then the other thing is like.
That's when I knew I better walk right because you were walking by. That's when
he was following in your footsteps.
I saw it clearly. Yes, I did. Mm-hmm.
And you really do. You inspired me to work hard. Like I learned how to work hard from you because whenever I have days where I feel like I don't want to work hard anymore, I'm tired. It's too hard. I look at you and I see you getting up every day, no matter how hard it was, no matter how many things tried to keep you down. You never stayed down. So I'm looking at me like, well, if he's not going down, neither am I. So that's where I get like the fight and like the hard work from. That's my hero right there. So
and I look at you, but I'm ready to quit. And when I'm ready to turn back, I look at you and I get my strength. A whole lot of days I wanted to give up because it's been tough. But I know what it'll do to you, and I can't do it.
Same here.
God sent you for me. I prayed for you. You don't even know before you were born. I pray you be a special guy to help me be strong and help me be able to hold on and not use drugs and not try to kill myself. I didn't have no idea what love felt like until I met you. Once I got that, I got strength. So here we are, son. 30 years later.
And we still doing it.
That's
like
right.
no other.
Yes.
You guys first of all, I just want to say again, thank you. You guys are inspiration. For you guys to come out, especially for you, Mr. Ernie, come out and share your story about drug use and how you got over that and how John helped you get over that. Just thank you. I mean, you guys are a true inspiration. You guys, Mr. Ernie, you know you're a role model of mine. John, you know you're a brother of mine. I love you. You know that. So I'm forever grateful to have you guys in my life. Obviously, you guys feel the love for each other, but I got love for both of the men that's on the screen right now. John helped me through I don't want to say a hard time. Obviously, what we consider a hard time in high school is not a hard time, but he helped me through high school. And I remember when his first year in high school, his first year in Penn State was my last year in Calvert Hall. John will tell you, I was texting him every week, like, bro, please come back. Like, please, just come on back. Just come on back home. Like, I need you. Like, because he became my best friend at Calvert Hall. I walked into Calvert Hall with another friend, and I walked in there with another best friend, and he turned out to be that. So and we've been friends ever since. I know I got my hot moments, John. We don't got to get into that live over here. We talk about that all day. But I got my moments where I'm up and down. But this brother's helped me out tremendously, and without there is no him without you, Mr. Ernie. So again, I just want to say you guys both deserve your flowers, both do.
All right.
Before we get you up out of here, Mr. Ernie, I want to ask you about the current state of the NBA. What do you think about the current game? How do you enjoy it? Do you not enjoy it? Do you think that you shoot too many threes? Like, what do you think about today's current state of the NBA?
Well, I've adjusted to it. It's a lot different than, years ago. They still got a lot of tremendous. It's in good hands. They got a lot of tremendous young talent. The playoffs have been nothing but the truth. I mostly watch the playoffs. I don't watch too much of the regular season because they seem like they don't put too much effort in it. But when the playoffs come, you got something there. And they got, the energy is different. The game, the referees are reffing a little bit different. The players are really they're going at it. So I've enjoyed the playoffs this year. And I enjoy watching Steph, the Chef Curry. I drove all the way down to Charlotte, North Carolina, just to watch him in person play.
Didn't take me.
Took my wife.
Yeah, John, you made the right choice. Come on, John, stop.
I'm the one that's into basketball. I don't even watch basketball. She flipped teams every 2 years. She's a Celtics fan now.
Yeah, but as he said when he started the interview, bro, he we don't want to make nobody mad, so we get to stop, John, stop.
She deserve a little trip or two as well. You go all the time.
That's right.
He never takes me anywhere.
I hear that. I know that for a fact. When me and John go out, I don't never see Mr. Ernie with us. I
took him to the Ravens game down in Miami. That's the first time in years we took somewhere together. I enjoyed it. We had a good trip. We had great seats. Everything went well. And then that was like, what,
2021, yeah.
Following year, I took your mother to Charlotte, to the game. And we enjoyed that. In fact, we just went to Charlotte, 3 weeks ago and had a good time. So I like that. I like going to Charlotte every now and then. It's nice and peaceful down there. But he and I have the love of basketball in common, but he knows more about the game than most people that I'm in contact with. He knows names. He knows statistics. He also knows a lot about football. We're both avid Ravens fans. In fact, I was in a lot of physical pain, but I used to make sure I took him to every game I could because he loved the Ravens so much. And we had a good time bonding at the football games. It's been a great ride. It really has.
Absolutely.
Like I tell him all the time, we could have had a whole bunch of different things happen, but we wouldn't have never, if one thing changed, we would have never met each other. So I can't complain about what I didn't get, where I didn't go, because had I gone, I wouldn't have him. I wouldn't have met him. So all bets are off. Everything is good because of that. Yeah.
Absolutely.
Now, y'all
So
get deep with this.
say it again.
Getting too deep right now. We gotta go somewhere else. Let's go.
No, you good. You good. You good. You good. We'll get you up out of here with this one, sir. And again, let me just say this before I ask you this last question, sir. Again, thank you for coming on. Whenever you want to come back to Highly Opinionated, just say the word and you got it. You have it.
And if you have something coming and you want me to be a part of it, I'm there. Okay.
Thank you, sir. Thank you, sir.
Yeah.
You are the best. Before we get you up out of here, you did say that you like the NBA. You did say you like the NBA playoffs. I would be a fool to not get your thoughts on the NBA finals. Currently, Oklahoma City and Indiana's tied 1-1. Game 3 is Wednesday night on ABC. How do you think this series will play out? Both Indiana won game 1. Oklahoma basically dominated game 2.
I was saying OKC in 5, but I'm gonna have to say in 6 because they gave that one game. But they may lose one more game in Indiana.
Okay.
But OKC is the dominant team. They are more physical. Their defense, something we haven't seen in many, many years. They have a camaraderie. They play together well. They share the basketball, and then they got the best one-on-one guy I've seen in a long time. Shea Gilgeous
Alexander.
He is just a real deal. So I think it's in 6 OKC.
So I had picked before the series started. I had picked OKC in 6. I thought that Indiana. I thought Indiana not surprised me. Indiana showed me they got heart for what they did to Cleveland in the second round and what they did to New York, being down in that game 1, coming back and winning that game. I thought that most people thought it was going to be a 4 or 5 game series from Oklahoma City. Some people thought Indiana would get swept. I thought Indiana showed their fortitude, showed their mental toughness, showed their heart, showed their passion all throughout the playoffs. So when you get a team like that, it's kind of like in the NCAA tournament. If an underdog team wins the first game and then wins the second game, they're real legit. They made the Sweet 16, so they're one of the best 16 teams in the country. And that's how I looked at Indiana in the NBA playoffs. Like they earned their money. These players earned their money, they earned their name by playing their game. And I always say, in the regular season, you make your name. In the playoffs, you make it. In the regular season, you play your game. In the postseason, you make your name. Okay. So in the regular season, you playing around, In the postseason, you trying to be a Michael Jordan, a LeBron James, a Steph Curry, a Kobe Bryant, a Larry Bird, a Magic Johnson, a Kareem Abdul-Jabbar. You make your name in the playoffs, and that's what I thought Indiana has done. So I'm gonna still stick with OKC in 6, but yes, I'm still stick with OKC in 6. I think Indiana will win game 3, and then I think OKC will finish it out from there. What about you, JG?
I don't think Indiana wins another game in the series. I think I'm sticking with my pick, OKC in 5. I knew Indiana would win game 1. Something just told me it was going to happen. But we look back, how did they win? Sometimes in the game of basketball, it's a very simple game. The stat sheet kind of tells the story sometimes. Most of the time it doesn't, but in this particular game with game 1, it did. Chet Holmgren struggled. Jalen Williams struggled. Oklahoma City did not score many points off of the turnovers they generated. In game 2, Chet Holmgren played better. Jalen Williams played better. They started scoring off of those turnovers. That's the story of the series. I don't believe Oklahoma City is going to have many games where they create so many turnovers and not capitalize. I don't see many games with Chet Holmgren and Jalen Williams not playing well. And the Shea Gilgeous-Alexander, I know we talk about Nikola Jokic being the best player in the game, but I think Shea is showing people why it's a closer gap than people realize. Jay Williams on ESPN recently gave this comparison. I don't know if I fully agree with it, but I understand it. He said Shea Gilgeous-Alexander reminds him of a combination of AI and Kobe. From a handler's perspective, getting to his spot, a lot like Allen Iverson. The mid-range game and the smoothness of getting to his shot in the mid-range, it almost looks a little bit like Kobe. I'm not quite there yet, but I understand where he's getting that idea from. You got something to say about that?
I totally disagree with that.
Really?
The comparison, he's not as athletic as either one of those guys.
That's the difference. That's the difference right there. Why I couldn't really agree with it totally.
Quickness or speed or the ability to get up over the defender as well. He creates his own space. with his ball handling and his shoulders. He clears guys out. He plays more like George Gervin.
What about the footwork? The footwork doesn't remind you at all of AI or Kobe?
They use their speed and their quickness.
Okay.
He doesn't have. He's one gear. Always the same.
What about?
Go
I'm
ahead.
sorry, Mr. Ernie. What about this comparison? I'm sorry to cut you off. What about this comparison? He's a smaller Paul Pierce. Like Paul Pierce just got to his spots.
Okay.
Like Paul Pierce didn't have the back handle. He wasn't the fastest. He just got to his spots. He made his jumpers.
I want you to do some homework. Look up Skip Wise from Baltimore. Went to Clemson. Played 1 year. First freshman to make all ACC first team in the history of the ACC from Dunbar. Get some footage and watch it and tell me next time we talk what Shea looks like. More like.
I sure.
You talked about that, and I do understand it. I do understand like where you're coming from with that. Just the athleticism is definitely a big part. But back to the series, I don't think Indiana wins another game. I mean, look, they'll make it competitive. And the thing is, Tyrese Halliburton, I can't trust him. He's had an all-time playoff run in the clutch.
Right.
All those players saying he's overrated, ridiculous. We all know it. But it's games like what we see last night why we can't call him a superstar. He's been amazing in the clutch. You can't wait till the fourth quarter every game and think you're going to pull off a 20-point comeback. Not against this Oklahoma City Thunder team. When they have you down, they will keep you down and make it worse. And it can come from different areas. We saw Aaron Wiggins last night, former Terp, by the way, drop 5 threes off the bench. He didn't even play in game 1. That's how deep this team is. We know how good Shea is. We know how good Chet and Jalen Williams are. But this whole team has so much depth and different ways to hurt you. And they got the MVP. Tyrese Halliburton can't start the game like he does.
The coaches are the ones making the mess. Quick example. Thibodeau in New York allowed what's the point guard? What's his name?
Jalen Brunson.
No, the point guard for Indiana.
Halliburton.
Tyrese Halliburton.
Dribble the length of the court.
Yep.
With no pressure.
Yep.
He literally dribbled straight. Had they turned him one time, he wouldn't have had an opportunity to get a shot off. They backed up all the way down. Now, Oklahoma City did the same thing when they allowed the little rookie, second-year little guard to play Halliburton in that last set when they
Casey Wallace.
Game one.
You got the best defender in the whole NBA.
You got two of them, Caruso and Dort.
But Dort is your guy.
He's
big guy. Why neither one of them played him?
That's good. That's a good point. That's a good question.
So, some coaching errors that have helped Halliburton win these games.
Josh, I'm sorry like to bring this up, but it just like it takes me back to that one game in 2013 when San Antonio played against Miami. Why was Tim Duncan down on the floor, Popovich? Why was he down on the floor?
They took big fella out of the game, Duncan, and let them get that rebound.
There's no way Duncan should not have been on the floor for that possession. And Josh, he loves the Spurs. That one always jabs him right in the heart because I'm with him. It never should have happened.
But they should have won that.
Yeah.
And let me say this, like
coaching too, son. You know, it's not just the players. We like to talk about the skills of the players and the clutch moments and different things, but the coaching sometimes has been critical, and these coaches have fallen way short at times when, you need to either call timeout or before the play happens, have your guys ready and knowing their assignments. How can you have two top, you say two, and I'll agree, defensive players and not have one of them on Halliburton in the game-winning situation? How do you allow that as a coach?
They trust their team defense, and they believe they have a lot of different guys that can defend. And the evidence says it. Like they've had the number one team defense in the NBA all season long. So it's not just Dort and Caruso. All 5 of those guys are pretty damn good defenders. So like I don't think it was a bad call to have Casey Wallace on Halliburton. I understand your point, having your very best on that guy in that particular situation.
It's situational stuff.
Yeah.
It's like when the Supersonics didn't hand the ball through the pass and lost to New England. You remember that?
Seattle, yeah, Seattle. Seahawks, yeah, I got
you. Yeah. You got certain players that play in critical moments. Those are the guys you're supposed to go to. Defensively, you got certain closers, guys who's supposed to get the ball and guys who's supposed to play that defense. And so, John, I mean, you got 4 or 5. Chet Holmgren definitely couldn't have played him. You can't use. You know, you got certain guys that you know are your number one defenders. You have to use them.
Agreed.
Yeah, I agree with that, Mr. Ernie. It's no way in a game-winning situation that Case and Wiles, and I like Case and Wiles. John, I agree with you. Yeah, they have a good team defense, but no. Game-winning situation, sports is more about situational than what we give it credit for. Whether it's football, basketball, baseball, etc. Think about baseball. Think about this, baseball. The best closer ever, Mariano Rivera, situational. He was a situational player. He came in, did his job. The best closers in the NBA. All of them are great players, but they choose, okay, this is the time I'm going to close. I feel like this. One of the things that I look like, and I'm not getting into the GOAT conversation, but one of the reasons why I think Michael Jordan is better than Kobe and LeBron is because in the fourth quarter, he will score and he will take the best player. I'm not necessarily saying Kobe and LeBron will do that consistently. Jordan in 92, he stuck Clyde Drexler. He might have stuck. He didn't stick him the whole game, but in the fourth quarter, when I call it money time, when the money on the line, he gonna score and play defense. John, you know this. That's why I thought Kawhi Leonard at a certain point was the best player in the NBA. Kawhi Leonard was the only guy. Kawhi Leonard was the only guy that could get a stop, could score and get a stop on your best player. As much as we like Kevin Durant, as much as we like LeBron James, Steph Curry, James Harden, Giannis, they can't do that consistently. Kawhi Leonard could consistently, I'm going to score on him and I'm going to stop him.
Yeah.
That's situational basketball. That's situational sports at its finest.
In those critical moments, John, is coaching.
Absolutely.
Yeah,
get back to your point about coaching, John.
You got to call the right play and you got to have the right assignments. Halliburton said they don't call timeout. You know why they didn't call timeout? Because they didn't want
to give him a chance to switch.
On him.
Yeah. It was smart by Rick Carlisle, but I just don't think OKC's going to make those mistakes like they did in game one. They're not going to not capitalize off turnovers. They're not. And if Halliburton continues to do what he's doing, thinking he's going to wait to the fourth quarter to turn it on against this team, it's not going to work.
But
I don't think Indiana wins another game.
If he gets more aggressive and turns it up early, it could be a different game.
But that's the question. I don't have any evidence or proof that he'll do that. That's why I'm leaning towards OKC in 5.
We'll see Wednesday night.
Okay.
Yep, we will.
We will see, ladies and gentlemen. Game 3 of the NBA Finals is Wednesday night, 8:30 Eastern on ABC. Mr. Ernie Graham, it has been a pleasure and an honor to have you here on Highly Opinionated. We look forward to having you back, sir, whenever you want to.
Very good. Thank you, sir. Appreciate it.
Thank you, sir. Ladies and gentlemen, you're watching Highly Opinionated. Taking a quick break. We will be right back. Ladies and gentlemen, this episode of Highly Opinionated is brought to you by Edibly Airy. Enjoy the heightened experience of THC edibles in a whole new way. At Edibly Airy, our freeze-dry edibles available in 100 milligram, 200 milligram, 300 milligram, 400 milligram will give you the buzz you crave with a flavor you won't forget. Available in 3 different flavors: watermelon sunset, tropical fruit, and berry. To place orders, please visit the website at ediblyairy.com. While you're there at ediblyairy.com, use a promotion code. You guys see the promotion code on the screen. $ Highly Airy, $. Again, $ Highly Airy, $ for 20% off your first purchase. Follow us on IG at Edibly Airy for new product releases and monthly hookups. Must be 21 and over to purchase. Edibly Airy, the best freeze-dry edibles out. Go shop.
What's up, guys? Welcome back to Dill's Banging Breakdowns. Let's give a little recap of this O'Malley Marab card 316. Marab the Machine, Dwalish Willie. We will talk about him later, but holy crap, that guy is an animal. He really is. I don't know what the bantamweight division is going to have left after him. He's already ran through everybody, and I don't even know what to say now. Prelims, I was a fan. They started out pretty banging. Chaos Williams versus Andres Gustafson. That was actually a pretty crazy good fight. It did go the distance, 5 rounds, but Andre Gustafson, he got it done. He definitely throws heavy hands. That division's already stacked, the welterweight division. Big fan of it anyway. Great fight. Next fight in, we had another unanimous decision, but Waldo Cortez Acosta, he definitely messed Sergey up. It was a brutal fight, but them heavyweights, I don't know how they even go 15 minutes. That was pretty crazy. Both of them were pretty bloody. Acosta got the win. He's been pretty good in his upcoming rise in the UFC. Couple wins under his belt. Actually, he's 3-0 in the UFC, I believe. No, he's won his last 4. He's 5-6 in the UFC, which is still a pretty good stat for him. He's on the rise up in the heavyweights, but then again, heavyweights, we'll talk about that later. Where do we even go? A lot of news, actually, in the heavyweights, Dana was saying. But light heavyweight, where do these guys even go either? Both these guys are pretty crazy. Azamat Murzakanov, he's pretty crazy from Russia. He definitely will throw the distance the whole time. He definitely get the knockout, which I was expecting. He messed up Brendanson Ribeiro. He put him down. First round, pretty crazy KO. 3 minutes in, uppercut, right hand. What do you expect? Big boys, light heavyweights throwing down. Last fight on the prelims, we all expected this one to be crazy. Flyweight bout, Joshua Van versus Bruno Silva. Joshua Van put on a show. I'm pretty sure he's on a run too. He's won his last 3. He's been in the win column. Watch out for him. I'm pretty sure everybody's already been saying watch out for him, but Joshua Van, he's only getting better. Silva, on the other hand, also, he's only fought pretty good. Manel Kopp in his last fight got beat, but still pretty crazy to fight Manel. Joshua Van, though, is a monster. He is quick. He got some takedowns. He defended some takedowns. Big fan of Joshua Van. Keep on the look for him. Main event, starting it off. I counted him out, I believe. I'm pretty sure I said Kevin Holland may be washed, but I still love him. I'm pretty sure I said I still love him. Vicente Luque was on a tear. That guy is a monster. He is a Brazilian beast. He's fighting out in New Jersey. He was the crowd favorite. He was the favorite. Kevin Holland came and got the submission in round 2 on him. I wasn't even expecting it. I thought Kevin was just going to bang, probably take some defensive takedowns, defend some, do all that. But I'm pretty sure he got a Darce choke on him in the second round. It's actually pretty nasty. A big fan of Kevin Holland. He wants to fight Colby Covington next. Welterweight divisions, I love it. Kevin Holland loves to stay busy. Crazy fight by Kevin Holland. He literally stayed on the outside the whole time. He's like a 4-inch reach advantage on Vicente Luque, I'm pretty sure. And he just picked him apart for the first round. Second round, little grapple in the beginning. Darced him out, tapped him out. Kevin Holland, let's go. Back in the win column. Bruno Batista versus Patchy Mix. Bruno Batista said, welcome to the UFC, Patchy Mix, and beat you up for 3 5-minute rounds. 15 minutes, you got beat up. You looked terrible and stiff. Welcoming yourself to the UFC. Your head stayed on the line the whole time. Bruno was picking and jabbing and uppercuts, and it's the spotlights probably in the UFC. You can make a bet. I bet you the last 10 UFC debuts from somebody in a different organization that came over to the UFC and got on a pay-per-view for their first card. Patchy Mix is like the PFL, Professional Fighting League's bantamweight champion of the world, which is really nothing because it's the PFL. Once you get to the UFC, your game changes. The UFC only is taking the best of the best of the best, and they're only going to fight the best of the best, and especially on a 316 pay-per-view in New Jersey with Sean O'Malley on it as the main event. So Patchy Mix did not come out and do what he had to do. Mario Batista came out and he beat Patchy Mix up. That was crazy. I don't know what's coming for Patchy Mix, but Batista won. Crazy fight. Kelvin Gastelum, Joe Pyfer. I called Joe Pyfer to win it. It unfortunately did go the distance. Kelvin Gastelum looked great for being everyone counting him out. The commentators were counting him out. He's been in the UFC for like 15 years. He's fought Tyrone Woodley, who's been retired for 10 years. Kelvin Gastelum, definitely, he has the gas in him. Kelvin Gastelum does. Joe Pyfer, I thought he was going to put him out. He said he had some ring rust in his post-octagon interview. Still got the win. Still, I guess, good fight. He was throwing hands the whole time. I did notice maybe the last 2 minutes of that fight, Gastelum was putting the pressure on him, and Pyfer got a little hit a few times. But good fight. I love Joe Pyfer. I'll say I love Joe Pyfer to the end. Joe body bags Pyfer fighting out of Philly. Love it. Actually, my boy texted my other friend about 5 years ago and said, look out for this guy named Body Bags. And a couple years later, my buddy saw him in the UFC, and he used to train with him up in Philly. Pretty crazy. I love Joe Pyfer for that, too. Co-main event, women's bantamweight title, Juliana Pena, Kayla Harrison. I'm pretty sure I put my bet on Juliana Pena because she's just so seasoned and has fought the best of the best. But unfortunately, Kayla Harrison came out and submitted Juliana Pena at the end of the second round, and it was disgusting. She definitely mauled her for the first 9.5 minutes also, and she definitely put a beating on her the whole time. Juliana Pena also asked her before the fight, how are you going to win this whole fight? Are you just going to hold me down and submit me? Are you going to hold me down the whole fight? Because if so, I have trained for that. And it looked like Juliana Pena did not train for that. Kayla Harrison almost broke Juliana Pena's arm. It was a gross submission. It was in the last 10 seconds of the second round. She caught her in a Kimura, I believe it is, where you twist your arm back and you get it all the way behind your back. She almost broke it. Kayla Harrison said she didn't even feel a tap because the adrenaline was going so crazy. Gross. I don't know what Juliana Pena is going to do. They're not offering a rematch because Kayla Harrison just whooped her. But good fight. Kayla Harrison deserves it. She's a gold medalist in so many ways now, from the Olympics to judo to wrestling. Crazy fight. Kayla Harrison versus Amanda Nunes. They did say she did square up in the octagon with her after the fight. So that is going to be Kayla Harrison's next fight. Amanda Nunes coming out of retirement. That's a pretty crazy one. Probably a record-breaking fight right there. Main event, O'Malley versus Merab Dvalishvili. Merab took the win, submitted O'Malley. I wasn't expecting it. O'Malley said he changed his lifestyle since the last fight, did a lot of things, took a lot of things out of his life, put a lot of things in it to help him, focused. He looked great, I'd say. I believe he stopped like 4 out of 8 takedowns or 6 out of 8 takedowns. And Merab finally got him, took him down, held him down, mauled him down, submitted him at the end of the third. I don't know what's next for O'Malley. The bantamweight division already is up there anyway. Sean O'Malley, Piotr Yan, Umar Nurmagomedov, Corey Sandhagen is going to fight for the belt next against Merab. He did say that was his time to fight. So, but still, Davison Figueiredo, Chito Vera, Rob Font, Henry Cejudo, Mario Batista. All these guys have been beaten by Merab and Sean O'Malley pretty much anyway. I'd like to see Pantoja versus Merab, even though Pantoja has a fight coming up. But that'd be a pretty good one. I don't know what's next for O'Malley. I hope something's good for him. Maybe he'll take a year off and he will train and get his mind right. But we'll see. This Saturday coming up, though, we do have a good one. Kamaru Usman versus Joaquin Buckley. I am a fan of this. It's good fight night. A couple good people on it. A couple washed-up people on it. But prelims are pretty stacked. You got a lot of fights. This is actually, I'm pretty excited about all these fights. Nothing to do next Saturday. You got 8 fights on the prelims. Paul Craig fighting out of Scotland. He's ending the prelims versus Rodolfo Balado, Brazilian fighter. That's going to be a crazy fight. Right before that, Michael Chiesa versus Court McGee. Both those guys. Malcolm Wellmaker versus Chris Matteo. That's a great fight, too. I'm pretty sure Malcolm Wellmaker, his debut fight a couple months ago, he slumped his opponent. That was a great. Ricky Simone's on the prelim. This is actually a crazy, now that I'm looking through it, pretty crazy card for a fight night down in Atlanta. Ricky Simone versus Charles Jourdain. Bantamweight division, that's going to be a banger on the prelims. Cody Dundon versus Jose Ochoa. That's a banger on the prelims. Main card, first one to start it off is Alonzo Menifield versus Omar Sy. I love Alonzo Menifield. Light heavyweight. He is a unit. Pretty sure he's a old college D1 football player, something like that. He did something in high school or college football, and he is a beast. He's fighting unranked Omar Sy. I'm going to give it to Alonzo in this one. Let's see, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 6 fights, and they're all good on this one. I'm taking, you don't have to read these picks, but I am giving picks. I'm taking Alonzo Menifield in the first fight on the main card. Next fight in, Cody Brundage versus Mansoor Abdul Malik. I am a fan of Cody Brundage. United States versus United States. I'm going to have to give it to Cody Brundage, though. His last fight was pretty sure just a couple months. Yeah, was in March, and he is coming off a win. He's been in the win column. Bo Nickel beat him up a couple last year, but he's still been in the win column since then. I wouldn't count that out. It's Bo Nickel again who beat him up anyway. So yeah, give me Cody Brundage on this one. Next fight in. Wow, Cody Garbrandt. Didn't think I'd ever say his name. His last fight was December of 2023, and his last one before that was March of 2023. He's fought the best of the best. He's been in the UFC for like 10 years also. I don't know if this is going to be a stepping stone for his opponent, Ryan Barcelones. I don't know if this is going to be a stepping stone for him or not, because Cody Garbrandt is still in the win column. He's fought the best of the best. He's fast. He has always been a clean, competing guy. I don't think he's ever used drugs like other guys had back in that division back in the day. It was a big old controversy. The guy he's fighting is actually in the win column also. He's on a 2-run win streak right now. That's going to be a crazy one. I'll go with Cody Garbrandt just because I love what he's done back in the day, beating up TJ Dillashaw, that little rivalry they had. Bantamweight division's been stacked since then. Love that. Another fight in, Andre Petroski versus Edmund Shabazian. I love Edmund Shabazian. He loves to fight. He doesn't back down. His striking accuracy, dude, he's a monster. 12 wins by knockout in the UFC. He's on the win column right now. He lost to Mearshart, but Mearshart's a monster. He beat up Budka right before this in February, which is a great fight by him. I'm a big fan of Edmund. I'm going to go Edmund Shabazi on this one in the middleweight division. Co-main event, Rose Namajunas versus Miranda Maverick, 11 versus number 7. Rose Namajunas has also been in the UFC for like 10 years now also. Matchup stats, the height difference. Rose is actually taller. Little short girls they are. Same reach also. I don't know, though. I don't know. Rose has had some tough fights. She's been knocked out. She's been picked up and slammed on her head and knocked out. She lost to Erin Blanchfield back in November of 2024. Yeah, I don't know. She lost to Manon. She lost to Esparza. Her run may be over, unfortunately to say. I hate to count her out because she's had the belt. She's beaten the best. She has done the unexpected. Miranda Maverick, though, she is on a 4-fight win streak. Good for her. And she's beat up some good girls also. Barbosa, she beat up. Yeah, that's going to be a good fight. I'm still going to give it to Rose. I don't like counting her out. She's done the unexpected. I'll give it to her. Main event on this card is Joaquin Buckley, Kamaru Usman. Kamaru Usman has been out of the fight game since almost 2 years, since October of 2023 when he fought Khamzat Chimaev. It went the distance. It was a crazy fight. We all know that Usman has bad knees. So I guess he's taking this time off for his knees. He said he'd fight when he's ready. But he is 0-2. Dang, he hasn't won since November of 2021. Wow. Leon Edwards beat him up. Leon Edwards beat him up again. And then Khamzat Chimaev beat him up again. I would say it's a stepping stone for Joaquin Buckley. Joaquin Buckley's young. Joaquin Buckley had the knockout of the year with a spinning back kick while the other guy held his leg. He spun the other way and beat him up and knocked him out. He beat up Vicente Luque. He beat up Stephen Wonderboy Thompson. He couldn't fight Colby Covington, unfortunately, but I think Joaquin Buckley would beat up Colby Covington. Stepping stone right there. Damn, that's going to be a crazy fight, though, because Kamaru hasn't fought in over almost 2 years. I hope he's been doing something for them knees. I hope he got some stem cells or some shots or something in there to help him out, because that's going to be a good fight if he's super healthy for it. I'm looking forward to it. I'm going to take Joaquin Buckley in now just because he's a unit and tank. He's on a streak right now. That's my breakdown for this Joaquin Buckley Kamaru Usman card, and I can't wait to talk about it because this card is stacked, and I will see you guys next weekend on Bill's Banging Breakdowns.
Dylan, you are the best, sir. Thank you again every week for making us more knowledgeable about UFC. It was a great UFC card last week. Hopefully, it's another good card coming up this week. Before we touch the NBA Finals, JG, let's show some love to the Stanley Cup Finals. Stanley Cup Finals is currently tied 1-1 between the Edmonton Oilers and the Florida Panthers. Edmonton won game 1 in overtime. Florida won game 2 in overtime. I think both games have went to overtime, if I'm not mistaken, right?
That is true.
That is true. Yeah, both games have went to overtime. Game 3 is Monday night, 8 p.m. Eastern on TNT. Game 4 will be Thursday night, 8 p.m. Eastern on TNT. And Game 5 returns back to Edmonton. That will be Saturday night, 8 p.m. Eastern on TNT. Games 3 and Games 4 will be in Florida. Game 5 returns back to Edmonton. John, I picked Florida to repeat. You picked Edmonton to win. I think we both think this is a 7-game series, so I'm not surprised that Florida won game 2 on the road. I expect Edmonton to win either game 3 or game 4 on the road in Florida. So we should be in for a long 7-game series in hockey, which is good for the sport.
No, absolutely. Brad Merchant, he's leading the Panthers right now with 2 goals. Connor McDavid, like I said before, is regarded as the best player in the game. Edmonton, for the reason I picked them, they got to close the deal. But like you said, this definitely has a 7-game series written all over it. These teams are, basically evenly matched because we just saw 2 overtime games. Friday's game just went to double overtime. So
double overtime, yeah.
All you need to know to tell you what's in store for the rest of the series.
Absolutely. Obviously, we had the legendary Ernie Graham on, your pops on, and he said this about basketball he watches in the playoffs. I watch hockey in the playoffs. Like, you obviously came on a couple weeks ago with the Golden Knight jersey, Las Vegas Golden Knight jersey on. I've been watching hockey during the playoffs. I think that might be I think the first 2 games of the Stanley Cup might be the 2 best Stanley Cup final games I've ever seen. Just because it's so competitive, they're literally right here with each other. It's not like one significantly better than the other. So shout out to Edmonton and Florida for putting on a great first 2 games, and we expect 5 more great games in this series. John, as always, let's end the show with the NBA playoffs, NBA finals. As we mentioned, again, with the legendary Ernie Graham on, the series is tied 1-1. Indiana won game 1. OKC won game 2. OKC really has dominated both games. Indiana came back on some magical stuff to win game 1, and OKC basically dominated game 2. So we both said that we both like Oklahoma City. You like Oklahoma City in 5. I like Oklahoma City in 6. So we obviously know that we talked about majority of the series when we had Mr. Ernie on. So let's just do this. You mentioned Tyrese Halliburton. What Tyrese Halliburton needs to show up for Indiana to win more than just one game in this series?
He has to be Tyrese Halliburton that we see in the fourth quarter. And it's not just about him shooting the basketball. It's about him showing the aggressive nature where he looks like a threat out there. Too many times early in the game, we get to the end of the third quarter and he's got 5 points, 3 assists, 4 turnovers. That's not going to get it done. Like, you have to be at least a threat to do both. You can't be out there just floating. We have to know that you're out there. Like, we can't go through 3 quarters and be like, was Halliburton even out there? Like, what's his stat line? What has he done? We're questioning that from a guy that I think people were trying to anoint him to be a star, the face of the team and all that. But it's like, dude.
No, not a star. Superstar.
Superstar. I wasn't there yet.
Me neither.
My thing is, we see too much evidence why we can't put you at a superstar, bro, because superstars don't do that. They don't wait till the fourth quarter. You've been amazing in the fourth quarter in clutch time. We just saw it in game 1 of the finals. Even though it was one of the lowest watched finals games, and that's a study for another day. You know how I feel about those casual-ass basketball fans. But my thing is, Halliburton's got to go from jump. He's got to look like, yo, I'm here too, Shea. Gildas Alexander, the NBA MVP. I'm here too. We on my home floor, and this is the NBA Finals. You got to feel me. Like, you got to feel me on both ends. I'm not going to wait till the fourth quarter to be effective and be aggressive. It doesn't mean he has to shoot 20, 30 shots. That's not Halliburton's game. I understand that. It reminds me a lot of Chris Paul. Really quintessential point guard. Takes shots when necessary, but Chris Paul never floated. He never waited to the fourth quarter to get going. You felt his presence You felt to make an imprint on the game from start to finish. That's what Halliburton has to do if he's going to have Indiana and prove me wrong, because I don't believe it. Like I said earlier, I don't think Indiana wins another game in the NBA Finals. I think they'll make it competitive at times, but I don't think they win another game. I think OKC wins 4 straight and they win in 5. But Tyrese Halliburton comes out from start to finish like he does in the fourth quarter. He's got a chance to prove me wrong and maybe look like an idiot.
Well, nah, we're not gonna go that deep. We ain't gonna say you look like an idiot. You could be wrong, but never that. I agree with you. Obviously, I think that again, bro, you're one of the smartest basketball minds I know, if not the smartest. So I wouldn't let nobody call you an idiot. You know that. But I agree with you on the fact that Tyrese Halliburton needs to be aggressive. And being aggressive, I love how you said it, yo. Being aggressive doesn't mean you come out and you shoot everything. Being aggressive is just like sometimes like I'm gonna beat you to this spot. I'm gonna beat you here. That aggressive. Or I'm gonna make this pass. Oh nah. Or oh nah, you're not scoring this possession. That type of aggressive. We don't see that until it's money time with him. If we saw that from the first quarter on, remember that game against the Knicks? He had a 30-point triple-double. We saw it the whole game. So exactly. Indiana got up, and we saw Indiana at their best. For Indiana to win this series, we don't think they will, but for Indiana to win this series, they need Tyrese Halliburton to play like that all the time. Now, he hasn't done that in 2 games. It's still 4 more games. Well, still 3 more games left right now because both teams have won. It's 1-1. But we need Tyrese Halliburton to be more aggressive. We need him to be hungry. We need him to attack more. And again, attacking doesn't just mean shoot. Play your whole game, but just attack the game and don't wait until the fourth quarter.
It's like what you're doing is like we shouldn't have to have these questions in the NBA Finals. Your first NBA Finals appearance, and we're wondering where your aggression is. No, we can't have those conversations. Like, what more do you need? There's a championship on the line. Your first championship for the franchise and for yourself in your career. There's no way. Like you can't come out like that. And outside of the shot he had in game 1 to win it, he hasn't been that good. If we're looking at the game in totality, he hasn't really been that good. He's turning the ball over, and he's not shooting the ball that well, especially from 3. He's got to figure it out, and he better figure it out very, very quickly. You said game 3 is Wednesday, correct?
Yes, sir.
He better figure it out the night before, or this is going to be it's going to be over.
No. Hey, he should be figuring out the day tomorrow, yes. And so when Wednesday comes, his ass is ready. Sir, you will be right. If OKC wins the next 2 games, this is over in 5. We can start. Me and you can start doing production meetings about what we think will happen next after the season when we think it's going to be crazy season for trades. I need Tyrese Halliburton. If they want to prolong this and make. We both gonna be right because I think we both think OKC is gonna win. It's just about you think 5, I think 6. In order for Indiana to win another game, Tyrese Halliburton needs to attack. Now let me say this: watching OKC, they do give up 3s. Indiana hasn't made the 3s that they can usually make yet. I think they will do that at home with that home cooking. You know, at home cook. Hey, John, the best meal to eat is at home. Mama making that meal, eating that home cooking. You gotta love it. You gotta eat it. The Pacers will be around, quote unquote, mama, their wives, or whoever the woman is in their life, making them home cooked meals. The Pacers will get that. I think the Pacers will win game 3, and then I think OKC they'll get back on their bully stuff, and they'll find a way to end this in 6. I do want to shout out OKC. Let me say this: I heard Kendrick Perkins say a couple weeks ago. Kendrick Perkins of ESPN. I heard him say that this is the best defensive team he's seen in a while. And when he first said that, I'm like, man, he's crazy. He ain't lying. This, bro. Yo, I'm trying to think of a good analogy that I won't get in trouble with to describe it. I'll give you an example. Here we go. The OKC's defense is like bees swarming honey. Like they just attack it. Like sometimes, like Hollenberg or dribble, it's somebody right behind him. It's somebody on his left side. OKC seems like they're playing with 10 people on the court, and it's literally only 5. It seems like they just got 2 people here, 2 people here, 2 people there. It's like, bro, it's like no. Like I said this about Florida men's basketball, the national champions. They're like Noah's Ark. They have 2 of everything. Like OKC literally has 2 of everything. You mentioned earlier when we had Pops on, bro. You mentioned Andrew Wiggins. What's his name?
Aaron Wiggins.
Andre Wiggins.
Aaron Wiggins.
I'm sorry. He went to Maryland. Shout out to the Terps. Sir, he doesn't even play. He doesn't even play. Like I don't even know if he's in a rotation all the time. Jalen Williams, not J-Dub, Jay Will. They don't even play him. He's a good player. They don't even play him like that. So I think the OKC death will wear out the Pacers, but I definitely think the Pacers going to win another game, bro. That home cooking and the way OKC gives up threes, Indiana can win another game. They can win another game.
It's possible, man, but it's like just from what I saw in the first couple of games, like why did Indiana come back? Why did Indiana win this game? The answer was right there in the stat line.
Right.
Chet Holmgren, Jalen Williams,
J-Dub. Yep, they didn't play good.
Yeah, J-Dub, bad games by them, by better standards. And then OKC not scoring off turnovers like they normally do. That's not going to happen again. That was an anomaly. And then that's really what got them back. What got Indiana back in the game. They do give up a lot of threes. But that you can't count on that happening, and I don't. That's why I feel like Indiana really got lucky in game one, even though I thought they would win the game. So that's why I'm questioning that. And it's funny you mentioned Kendrick Perkins. That guy has the wildest analogies on TV. I'm gonna use one of them for Oklahoma City's defense. He said Oklahoma City's team defense is on ass like apple bottom jeans back in 2003 on Beyonce. I can't believe he said that on TV, bro. I lost it. But no, I got to use that. Shout out Kendrick Perkins.
Ladies and gentlemen, I can't wait till I get famous. Y'all think his analogies are crazy? Wait till just wait. Yo, my favorite one where he said, "Man, he on them like a church, like a pair of church socks." I'm like, bro, are you serious? He on his heels like a pair of church socks.
Facts.
Yo, that one time he was on NBA Today with Shanae Ogumake, and he started. I mean, it was halftime. And he was like, whoa, and then, she almost lost her wig. Yo, that was the funniest thing I ever seen a man do in life, yo. Like, bro, like, yo, you lucky that, yo, you big ass, yo, if you was Joshua Walker, they'd call HR on your ass. But you Kendrick Perkins, you got a little bit more power. You got a little bit more staying power than Joshua Walker. So, yo, Perkins,
Bro took a rolling chair and took his belt off and started whipping the belt. Like, dog. I said, belt to ass.
Yo, I remember that, right? Shout out to Kendrick Perkins. Shout out to Tim for taking belt ass to the next level. Let me say this. Kendrick Perkins, right? He said that. That was when Luka was on the Mavs and they destroyed the Clippers. He was like, didn't I tell you I'm your fucking, didn't I tell you? Yo, that was, let me say this. I don't think Luka owns the Clippers. He damn sure play well against the Clippers. He damn sure do. So, ladies and gentlemen, game 3 of the NBA Finals is Wednesday night, 8:30 p.m. Eastern time on ABC. Game 4 from Indiana will be Friday night. So it's only a day in between game 3 and game 4. Game 4 will be Friday night at 8:30 Eastern on ABC. Ladies and gentlemen, we want to thank you guys for watching episode 41 of Highly Opinionated. You guys make sure you go follow, like, and subscribe to Club JG Podcast. My brothers over there doing great things. Shout out to you once again, bro. Keep doing good work. Keep inspiring us all to be great. Chase our dreams. Live our dreams.
Yes, sir.
For the best calls in the game, JG. For the best producer in the game, Ross. I'm merely Josh. We'll see you guys next week. We out.